What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back at Fortis West. If you don't belong to this gym and you live in Mississauga or Etobicoke or West Toronto, you're doing yourself a disservice. More on that later. I want to talk today about a quick bench tip, something that's been helping me, as you guys probably know. I want to increase my bench press. Who doesn't? My best bench right now is 365 pounds. I want to make that by the end of the year 370, 375, 380 pounds, weighing around 185, 190. All right, cool. So the bench is already pretty good, but I can make it better. I want to talk today, my quick tip, all about doing more push-ups. And I've talked about this before, but I want to talk about the push-up as a progressive overload movement, meaning not just something that you do on off days, which I talked about before. Why should you be doing push-ups, or everybody do push-ups? It's simple. On the bench press, because your back is pinned, so you're tight, your shoulders aren't protracting. This means that a very important component, very important muscle, your serratus anterior, doesn't get enough love. And that's partially responsible for stability of the shoulder joint. If all you do is a ton of pressing or a ton of pressing variations, bench press, pinned back like this, you're limiting the range of motion. What you should really be doing is incorporating some push-ups in order to get a closed chain kinetic movement. A bench press is open chain, which means your back is pinned, your hands are open. Closed chain, your hands are either on the ground or maybe elevated slightly. When you're doing a push-up, it's a longer range of motion. Your shoulder's allowed to retract and then protract, so it's an extended range of motion, and it's a little healthier on the shoulder joint. I think push-ups are kind of magical. So already, if your goal is just healthy, safer shoulders, you should be doing push-ups several times per week. You could do sets of 20, sets of 25, sets of 30, whatever you can do. I'd say after about 20 or 25, what you can do if you're just doing body weight is slow down the tempo a little bit. But if you have access, like here at Fortis West, to a push-up harness, so you put on the harness and you're allowed to progressively overload it, do it as an actual accessory movement, much like you do on the squat, a front squat variation. Consider it a movement that's harder to do. So it's a longer range of motion. It's a little bit more instability. I'm not talking about, like functional movements, bro. But what it means is that for you, if you look at me doing the push-up, I actually go lower than if the bar was to touch on my chest, I go lower than that range of motion. So the end range is longer, and this means that I'm putting my muscle through a greater range of motion. So I think everybody should be doing push-ups. I think also everybody should be doing weighted push-ups if possible. If you have access to that equipment, you can build the push-up harness. You can get just something to elevate your body. It's relatively inexpensive. It costs you probably $50, $100, something like that. But if your goal is to get a bigger bench press, specificity is key. I like the dip. A dip is another movement that's kind of like this. It does work your serratus a little bit, but I find it doesn't have as much carryover. If you're doing a lot of bench press, if you're doing a lot of horizontal pressing, but just variations of that with the barbell, consider switching it up and trying out the push-up and progressively overloading the push-up. I could say for myself, because I had some shoulder issues, some minor issues from doing the low bar squat. They've gone away over time. Now I'm pressing even more weight, and especially, I will also add this, if you do a bench press grip like myself, that's a little bit elbows wider, so your elbows are flared, I think it has even more carryover. And if you get something that has multiple grip positions, so you can work on neutral or even a grip position that best simulates something like a bench press, even more carryover, stronger, safer, healthier shoulders, more time spent actually doing the movement properly, building more muscle, getting more gains. Anyways, that's my quick tip. Recently, I just hit 300 pounds for a 5x5 on the bench press. That's 82% on a 1 rep max. I'm getting stronger. I'm focusing on increasing my strength. That was my tip. If you enjoyed the video, Alice, what are we going for here?
68,000 likes.
Why?
Why not?
Why not? There you go. Well, if you like the video, guys, that's all the time we have. Make sure to like the damn video. Sometimes simplicity is key. I go back to some of my roots. I think push-ups are fucking magical. I think everybody should be doing them. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. And lastly, hey, don't go anywhere, buddy. Lastly, if you live in Mississauga, Etobicoke, West Toronto, and you're looking for a good gym, an open gym, a gym you can do whatever the hell you want, Fortis West, I'm going to link their information in the description. You should join Couch Jeremy Hamilton. It's his gym. It's amazing. Do it. I'm out.
How would you compare that? Because I know also you did some sprinting 100 and 200 meter. Game day competing, let's say sprinting versus a powerlifting meet.
Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar in the whole mental lead up to it.
Okay.
How you're thinking about it and how you're going through your training process, knowing that the competition is coming as you're kind of peaking and getting more and more focused every training session, like leading up to a big event. It's like Very similar. Pretty much the same thing.
So you don't just wing it like I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You're not part of the BBW Army. Explain the BBW Army.
Well, it
I gotta
also
be
you can branch into another. There's a
SSBBW.
SS BBWs.
Which is?
Supersized.
Supersized BBWs.
What's bigger than a big,
Yeah,
black, beautiful woman?
What were you?
What's the other one? BBC. BBC. That's what I click on when I go to Pornhub. Is that wrong?
BBC.
Is that wrong? I was trying to get the British news, and then Kevin Oak popped up.
Well, one day.
What he didn't say is after he went on Wall Street, times got rough.
Yeah.
I thought I heard you worked like at a strip club as like a manager or something. It's like you
I
worked
was
at a
a
strip
You
club.
worked at a
Yeah.
strip
I was
club.
a doorman at a strip club for a couple of years.
Dude.
Very interesting.